For joining us on today's edition of the program Platform. On Platform, we always bring guests from different backgrounds to share their experiences and also to bring us into focus about what they have to do or what they're doing or their plans for one or two things. And today is no different. We have here a guest who will be telling us about his alma mater. But before then, let's remember it's a period of the epidemic, the COVID-19 epidemic. So what we need to do is also to make sure we keep to the protocol, ensure that you observe social distancing, wear a mask always. You have to be more than 2 people, 1 or 2 people in a place, and also ensure all protocols are observed. I am Yakubu Tadi. Sir, on this program, we always allow the guest to introduce himself.
My name is Abdullahi. I'm a professor of criminology. I retired from the Nigerian Public Service. I had security, intelligence, policy, and diplomatic background. I had also a law enforcement background. My last important position was the Regional Director General of the ECOWAS Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, which is a financial action task force style regional body which consists of 16 countries in West Africa. When I retired from public service, I went into academics, became a professor. I am retired also as a professor, but not tired.
It's quite interesting. You're looking so young, and people will be wondering, you retired at this age? Yes. Why?
Well, I had to retire because of circumstances. You see, when you run on the fast lane, you get to the destination early. If you go to bed very early, you wake up early.
Okay.
Now, I had a very rapid promotion by the grace of God, on merit, not on any influence. And I was appointed to a statutory position of the Regional Director General. Before I was appointed to that position, I was already on level 17 in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. So when I came back, I needed to clarify because when I came back from that foreign service, there was a circular that says if you have spent 8 years on a directorate level, you must retire. So I decided on my own to retire, even though there was resistance trying to explain the legal circumstances of their own. But you see, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, and therefore we must set example. By retiring from public service will not make me die, or that will not be the end of my life. And I am grateful that 5 years or more after retirement, I think I'm still the same as I was. And I'm grateful to God, but I have increased in knowledge, certainly.
Okay, but this is certainly a rare breed in Nigeria, where people tamper with their ages when they're in service so that they could stay longer and all of this. People may just be wondering who actually you are, because you didn't tell us where you're coming from. You just talked about at the level of work and education. Where is Prof Yibaikwal from?
I was born in Namarang. Namarang is in Kanam local government of Plateau State. I schooled at the Central Primary School in Namarang. From there, I went briefly to Government Secondary School in Wamba for 1 year, and I transferred to Government Secondary School in 1978. I finished from Government Secondary School, Dengi, and we met at the School of Preliminary Studies, and after the preliminary studies in Kefi, I proceeded to Ahmad Bello University, and I chose to read international studies. I had an eye probably on diplomatic service, but I'm not sure whether I really had an eye. It was just destiny, because I don't think that when I was in SPS, I had the mindset that I wanted to go into diplomatic service. My real ambition was to become a broadcaster. Okay. So when I went to Zaria, I went to read English. I wanted mass communication in Zaria, but there was no mass communication, and we were assured that the following year they would introduce a degree in mass communications. So I took English. When we finished the first year, I did not see the possibility that there was going to be a mass communication course. And then it was opened that they needed 5 brilliant students from each department in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences who would run for the International Studies program. It was introduced by Professor Abdullahi, and he put a condition that he needed the 5 best in every department to be assembled for that course. So whether you were in English language, history, political science, sociology, archaeology, economics. Yeah. So we applied. And I happened to be among the 5 that were chosen for graduate. So on graduation, I went for my national service at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. And before I could finish my service, I was lucky to recruited as an officer in the Defense Intelligence Agency in DOSA. I was there until I transferred my service to when the Economic and Financial Crimes was established. But even when I was there, I was seconded to the presidency and I was promoted to the So I established the framework for the establishment of the EFCC. I gave the drafting instructions with a vision of what we really wanted with respect to a modern law enforcement organization. By the time the law was passed, I had left again for higher studies. I was not in the country. I had left to the University of Hong Kong, where I pursued and obtained a doctorate degree in criminology, specializing in anti-corruption and anti-money laundering. No sooner had I completed that, I was lucky again. God in His infinite mercies, I got a call from the United Nations that they have gone through my work and that they would like to hire me as an expert. Okay? I was interviewed when I was in Hong Kong. The week I came to Nigeria, I came back to Nigeria from Hong Kong was the week the United Nations sent a letter to the Nigerian government that they had given me an appointment to go to the United Nations as an expert on the anti-corruption and the global program against corruption and anti-money laundering. So I was in Vienna for 2 to 3 years. Again, there was pressure for me to come back to nurture the young EFCC that was
established.
Yes, and out of patriotism, I came back home. And I was the pioneer director of the training and research, where I developed law enforcement curriculum for the EFCC, what we really wanted. And indeed, I can tell you that we wanted a shift from the routine didactic police conventional investigation to intelligence-led financial crimes technology in investigation of economic and financial crimes. I was not there for long again. I had a national or international calling. I was nominated by the Nigerian government as, again, the Pioneer Director General of the ECOWAS Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering, which is a regional organization, a specialized institution of the ECOWAS, which is based in Dakar, Senegal. I was there for 8 years before coming back to Nigeria in 2014. So I'm retired, but not tired. I'm providing national and community services.
Okay. It's quite interesting because if someone looks at you now, you won't believe that you're tired. You're still looking strong, and perhaps more days for that. And in community service, it takes me back to your alma mater, the secondary school in Dengi, government secondary school Dengi. Can you give us a little bit about that school? When was it established, and how far has the school gone?
The school was a community initiative between, initially by Kanan local government, and later on a partnership between Pangshen and Kanan. So it was initially, it came to be as Pangshen Kanan. Then later on, when the government college was established in Pangshen, it became Kanan Community Secondary School. So solely owned by Kanan community. It was established in 1973, and the pioneer principal was Joel Tali Minfa. I think at that time he was the highest educated person we could get with an NCE, a product of Government Teachers College, Gendry. So he was the pioneer principal, and the school was established and through a lot of difficulties because, at that time, resources were limited and people did not know or appreciate the importance of education. So it was as a result of the commitment of our community leaders, and in this regard, I give glowing tribute to our late Emir, His Royal Highness Muhammad Ibrahim, the late Emir of Kanan, who understood the importance of education and mobilized other traditional rulers, community leaders, and made sure that the school was established, was supported by the community. It was later taken over by the government, and it became government secondary school, maybe 3 or 4 years after its establishment.
Yes, looking at from a community school to a government school, and sometimes people assume that, yes, from a community school, what kind of graduates have come through that school?
Well, initially, it was running as a community during the foundational years, but none of the graduates passed through that school when it was still under community. The first set was supposed to graduate in 1978, but as usual with a pioneer school, the pioneering class would normally have to face some challenges because of accreditation. In order to write the West African examinations, they were delayed for about a year. So some of those who felt they did not want to waste the 1 year, or they did not want to stay for another year, they left for other schools. But those who stayed, they waited for the 1979 set and they graduated together. So that was the beginning of graduating students from government secondary school. And that was the year I actually arrived.
Yes, you said you went to Wamba and came back. Why did you come back?
No, I came back. I was just transferred to Jesus. The destiny again. I can't explain the circumstances. You understand?
Yes.
Because during our time, the selection process was very random. You could be sent to any part of the state. Some were sent to Boko, as far as Boko in Benue State when it was still Benue and Plateau. Some were sent to Nasarawa in present Nasarawa State. Some were sent to Lafia. Some were sent to Gendry, and etc., etc. So by chance, I was sent to government secondary school, but I cannot remember whether it was as a result of ill health or just that my parents wanted me to be in Benue. So then I was transferred to government secondary school. I think that is where my destiny is. I was okay.
So how were your days like in the school? You said any memories about those who you were in school?
Well, it was very good fun. When we were in Dengi, government schools were really well taken care of. You know, every Saturday or Sunday, the weekend, about 3 major contractors will bring different types of food for students. Those who will bring rice, gari, yam, and other carbohydrates.
Yes.
There are those who will be supplying fish, chicken, and other vitamins. There are those who will be supplying other proteins like beans and vegetables. Those who will be supplying the beverages, and then regular supply of bread in the morning. I think we used to have breakfast, particularly very nice tea. I don't know whether the taste of the Lipton tea is the same as the tea we used to take.
Maybe
the taste at that time was excellent.
Yes, those good old days.
Yes.
The students now will be wondering, what are you talking about?
Oh, indeed, they will. Because at that time, we were lucky that every Sunday, we were given a whole chicken. A student will be given a whole chicken, he alone, for lunch. Then it was discovered that it was too much for some people, so you will take half chicken, you alone, and take rice and beans. That was more than enough balanced diet. And there will be a little vegetable by the side for the balance to be completed. So, and in addition to that, we were catered food. They were given us books, including exercise books, writing materials. They were given us uniforms and even soap to wash the uniforms. And do you know the most interesting thing? Up to the time I left the school in 1983, my school fees was 17 naira per annum.
For the whole year?
So for 1 year, yes. 17 naira.
A session?
Yes. Oh. That was the highest I paid. Because at the time we started, the school fees was not more than 25 naira, 15 to 25 naira. At that time, it was just a token to make you feel that yes, you were paying for something, but government was really up and doing, and government was doing it.
Yes, I do remember that in those who I went to a missionary school. Yeah. In government schools, they were also given transport money.
We were given transport money. In fact, when I was living in Wamba, you know, part of my transport money was used for other things. Because I can't remember whether we were given like, was it 3 naira or so, or 5 naira, I can't remember. But it was enough to take me from Wamba to Dengi, and I saved some money, which I used during the vacation.
Well, government has invested in you. You were a beneficiary of the good old days, yes, where government invested in education. Mm-hmm. Now, what are you people giving back as old students?
Well, this is one of my greatest regrets, that I did not have the opportunity to serve in a place where I will directly show example by improving the educational standards, the quality of education, and whatever it takes to retain good education. But on my own as an individual, at a point when I was in office, I made a sacrifice that 10% of my salary was going to be saved in order to provide community service. So for about 3-4 years that I was during my second term as Director General of JABA, I was providing modest scholarship to indigent students. And I feel very humble and fulfilled today that I see some of the people who benefited from that scholarship. I did not know them. they come to me to say thank you. It was what you provided that helped us to get this. Of course, at that time, the scholarship for some courses was 5 times more than what the government was giving to the students. So they really appreciated. And I thank God Almighty for giving me the opportunity to touch lives, to touch individuals and communities. And this is one of my...
that's at the personal level. Yes. Now, as all students of government secondary school, Dengi, obviously, in most places, people begin to look up to the alma mater. Yeah. What are you doing, or what have you been doing? And coincidentally, you have the responsibility of being president of the all students now. Yes. What level of mobilization have you done, and what's the agenda to also recalibrate, help government? It's a government school, but you need to step in now.
Well, let me say that several years back, the Dengue Old Students Association was formed. But due to a number of reasons I cannot explain, it became moribund. So about 3 years ago, a few of us who were concerned, committed, and dedicated, we resuscitated that association, and we faced a lot of resistance, not because people did not want it, because of certain interests. Normally, when you are dealing with people, there will be divergent interests, there will be divergent opinion, many things. But you see, if you have a good leadership, you have committed leadership, you can provide, you can inspire people to do a lot of things. So we resuscitated that association, and then we got the previous executive that had existed for 10 years without doing anything dissolved, and we set up a caretaker committee for 1 year. So we worked for 1 year. Incidentally, I was the chairman of the caretaker committee involuntarily, because I can say I never bargained for it, but it was unanimously decided that I must serve. And I did not want to decline, because it's an honor for people to say, go and serve. I didn't beg for it. I felt the greatest thing I could do was to humble myself. It was an honor done to me. So within that 1 year, they saw what we could do. And by the time we went for our second convention last year, they were deeply impressed with our record of achievements. And we said, look, I am done. Particularly me, I was really, really done. I wanted to take an exit. But you see, there were strong voices. And at that time, some of our members had become very influential members of society. We got Right Honorable Ahmed Idris Laji, who became Deputy Speaker, and he went and graced our convention with about 6-7 honorable members of the House of Representatives with him. That was not a mean honor for us. And with persuasion from people like him, I had to succumb again. And then they said, look, my team, that is the caretaker committee that was formed, should continue, and they nominated a few other people, including one who is seated there, to join, and he is holding the position of Auditor General. So we felt it was a responsibility, and for me, when much is given, much is expected. Sure. I felt it was an opportunity to show example, just as I have shown example wherever I found myself. Even if we are 3 in this room and we agree that I should lead, I should lead by example. The feedback I have received is that many people like to be mentored by me, but mentorship is a difficult thing that people do not have patience, perseverance to undergo the mentorship. You have to make sacrifices in order for you to get good mentorship.
We'll be having another convention. What is it about this convention? How special or different will this be?
This convention is about consolidation. Unfortunately, at the time we left just last year, we thought that by now we would have accomplished a number of projects for people to see with respect to physical infrastructure in the school. Unfortunately, the coronavirus pandemic was a major obstacle to our intention to achieve some goals. For about 6 months, we were locked down. We were not even able to hold an ESCO meeting to decide on what to do. Because some of our members are living in remote areas and some are not technologically savvy to conduct a meeting either by Zoom, virtually, let me say. So, but just 2 months ago, we were able to hold a meeting. And within these 2 months that the economy started opening up, first of all, we had to appreciate His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, for the legacy project that he gave to Government Secondary School Delhi. We appreciated him. We are encouraging that project should be completed because that has changed the face of the school. On our part, we said what could be the low-hanging fruits we could leverage upon to make an impact. So, in order to relieve the students from the impact of the coronavirus, when they reopened the school for the exit classes, we immediately rushed with some health equipment, preventive health equipment, like face masks, hand sanitizers, and other things, in order to support them. And I should have a copy to show you if I have my own.
Okay.
So the table there.
All right.
I'll show you what we did. We distributed to the students in order to protect themselves. And we're happy that that experiment has been on for more than, they used the facilities, and throughout the period, there was no reported case of COVID-19 in the school, up to the time they finished the WAEC last week. So that is that. Secondly, there was a leaking building. The computer room was leaking, and we couldn't have allowed the leakage to be like that when people were taking the examination under that condition. So we went with intervention and supported the school. We had to move the building in order to help. So really, is the coronavirus COVID-19 epidemic that has really slowed our movement. Otherwise, I think we would have undertaken some impact-oriented projects.
Would the convention be looking at something 2020? Would you be looking at something specific to do in the school? Or until after the convention you'll be deciding this is where we'll
Well, for now, because of this, actually there were some programs that we wanted to execute last year, and those programs are still very valid. We are looking at possibility of raising a multipurpose hall. We are looking at the possibility of raising a computer hall for the school. We are looking at the laboratory also to assist. We are using our influence in society. Some of our members are very influential. We are leveraging on their goodwill and good offices to reach out to government to pay attention to school. And we are optimistic that hopefully before the budget year runs out, there will be 1 or 2 projects that will come to government secondary school.
Well, Prof, before we round off, if my memory serves me well, you were called Marxist.
Yes!
back then in SPS.
Yes.
Yes. Why was that? Are you still a Marxist?
Well, I don't know how the Marxist came about, but you see, when I was in school, I was active in politics. But as an adult, I'm far away from politics. I'm not a politician.
The nature of your
I have
job.
no intention to be a politician in the near future, except if it's decided by God Almighty. Because every human being is a politician. And when I say I'm not a politician, I'm not an active politician.
Okay.
But I can support a government that is in power, irrespective of its political party, in the national interest and as a patriotic citizen.
I think that's where we have to wrap this conversation. And there were so many issues you mentioned earlier. When we meet for a different discussion, we'll take you out about the financial crimes in Nigeria and West Africa, how the country is faring, where you have worked, so that people will get to share more about you. Professor Yibaikwal, we want to thank you very much for finding time to be with us here.
Thank you very much for coming, and I will say like this because of the corona pandemic. Thank you. All the best.
Viewer, that's the much we can take on this week's edition of the conversation. And next week we'll be here with another interesting guest on platform. I remain yours sincerely, Yakubu Tadi. Goodbye and God bless.